There was a point in time where everything was the same. I have to work out. I have to eat right. I have to get my stuff together. And it just felt mentally exhausting before the day even started. I made one language shift that didn't fix everything. Wasn't a miracle. It didn't change overnight, but it did change how I show up for myself. During the have to era of my life, I felt extremely lost. I was 320 pounds. I was sad. I was in a never ending cycle of guilt and shame and a slight motivation back to square one of guilt and shame and nothing really happening. Every have to was an obligation that I wanted to bail from, that I wanted to cancel, that I didn't want to do. I started saying, I get to. I get to work out. I get to work on myself. You can say I get, you can say I choose, but that is what I did. For me, saying I get to was about taking responsibility and choosing myself. It wasn't faking positivity or faking happiness. It was deciding that I get to make changes for myself. I started practicing this more when I started walking challenges. Instead of saying, oh, I have to get this walking challenge done, I said, I get to do this walking challenge. I know it may sound like toxic positivity. It's not. Even during the beginning of me saying I get to, I still was quite depressed. But it was a start. Remember that toxic positivity ignores hard feelings. It just disappears them like they don't exist. You can still say I get to and it be a hard thing and still do the hard thing. When I think of I get to, I think about a final girl. Think of Laurie Strode or Nancy Thompson. You could say that they had to survive. They didn't have to survive. They could have just given up. But they got to survive. Yes, it was hard. Yes, they really would have rather not had to deal with it. But they got to survive. With a little trauma, but they still survived. The first step is catching yourself when you say I have to. When you have a laundry list of things going through your mind and all you're saying afterwards is I have to, I have to, I have to. Which kind of sounds pretty overwhelming if you ask me. When you say or think I have to, change it. Do it deliberately. It's not going to be normal at first. It's going to be kind of weird, but just keep doing it. You have to remind yourself, you get to remind yourself. Write I get to everywhere. Write it on a Post-it. Write it on your mirror. Grease pens do exist. Write it on your phone. You get to. You choose to. You can. As you change this, notice how you follow through. Notice how your brain fights back. But you can always reframe it because you get to. I'm not perfect at this. I catch myself all the time. But I still change it and say that I get to. Because now that I've done all this work on myself, I get to ride roller coasters. I get to fit on a plane seat. I get to wear smaller clothes. I get to do a lot of things. And it all started with changing my I have to's with I get to. Drop an I get to in the comments and tell me what you're working on. Bye.